Welcome to a double
and
dice
with your host Kim
and Jocelyn.
Pour your favorite beverage,
Pull up a comfy chair,
because we are ready to roll.
Happy anniversary!
Happy anniversary!
Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary, eh?
Happy anniversary!
Welcome to episode 80. And as you may have guessed it or heard it just before I started talking, it's our anniversary.
Woohoo!
Yay! I should have one of those like blowing things.
Blowing things.
I don't know what they're called. What are they called?
Like the thing that you have on New Year's Eve.
On what?
On New Year's Eve when you
use
like the noisemakers.
The blowing thing. The noisemaker, sure. Any one of those. Or the party one, you know, the one that roll out? That looks like a tongue rolling out?
Yeah. A party horn?
Too.
Yeah.
I don't know what the names of these things are.
Well, in fairness,
Anyway.
I googled noisemaker blower to figure it out. And then it said,
yes,
people
it
also ask, what are party blowers called?
Do they really? See? I'm not the only one.
A party horn, also a party blower, party pipe, party elephant, party blowout, noisemaker, party whistle, party honker, tadoodah, noise popper, birthday kazoo,
my gosh.
whizzer, blow tickler, tongue kazoo, or party snake.
That's a lot of names for one item.
I don't know how many of those are real. Anyway.
Oh my gosh, they're probably all made up. Hi. It's Monday, February 27th, and it's our anniversary.
Yay! Okay, I'm laughing so hard my face hurts.
Folks, disclaimer, these things are never planned.
If they were planned, we wouldn't sound like this.
No.
Oh, but we appreciate that you join us every 2 weeks, although this episode is late. We had initially planned to have this episode out last week, and I would just like to address the elephant in the room, Kim, because when I posted that the episode was going to be delayed for a week, we had some comments in our Discord. And the comments were, Kim wins an event, and all of a sudden she's too good to podcast with you. I'm guessing it's going to take the extra few weeks to get that gold throne ordered for her. And then
and crown.
Yeah. And then that was from Ono. And then Jordo posted, I heard that the M&M mix was wrong, and she stormed out of the studio. And Ono followed up with, understandable. You have to get these things right for the VIPs. So I just want to clear up all of that.
But before you do, actually, I don't know the M&M reference. For some reason, I'm lost with that reference.
Oh, so like if you're like a superstar and you're doing like a concert or something like that, they have these things called a rider. And in the rider, it's like all of the things that they expect you to have backstage for the star.
Right.
So like if you look them up online, there's all kinds of crazy things that celebrities supposedly require backstage, like homemade guacamole to a specific mix, or a certain brand of water, or things like that. And one of the things is like M&Ms, but only a certain color M&M, like M&M candy.
Right. Okay.
So you have to like whatever and this grosses me out because someone's physically picking through the candy to pick out the colors that you want. Like, why would you do that?
Because
why
these
would you want
people
someone
are,
to touch all your M&Ms?
Rich.
I mean, I guess you could.
Gloves.
I guess the person would wear gloves, but you don't know. I don't know. I don't want someone touching my M&Ms. Anyway, so that's the M&M reference. So
okay, so it's not like M&M as in like, or he Eminem or Eminem, the rapper guy, not the rapper guy.
No, not Eminem. No, M&M candies.
Is it candy or is it chocolate?
Chocolate. Candy-coated chocolate.
It's not candy.
It is candy-coated chocolate.
No.
It's chocolate is coated in candy.
Right. Yes, that's right. Yeah.
So anyway, but so that's what that came from. So to clear all of this up, The reason we did not release an episode last week had absolutely nothing to do with Kim and her VIP status. I would like to clarify that Kim is a VIP and will be a VIP till the end of time as the winner of Breath Weapon X-Fest 5. But she is actually a very low-key VIP. She's very low maintenance. She just kind of wants to chill out. So it had nothing to do with
As
that
for
at
my
all.
Smarties in red. Okay.
Okay. No, it had to do with the fact that I had a migraine last week and I wasn't feeling well. And then because of my work and Kim's very important Pokemon travel,
Yes.
which I'm going to ask you about, Kim, we did not have the opportunity to record. So we are recording today and the episode's coming out a week late. But we're going to return to our regular schedule after this. So we'll have 2 weeks back to back and then we'll be back to every second week.
Correct.
So
Yep.
hopefully that clears all of that up for our listeners. Kim is not high maintenance. And
Well, thank you for clearing that up.
Although she does want a gold throne and a crown.
Yes, I do. I totally want one now.
It is not going to prevent her from podcasting.
No, I just get to sit in it and wear it when I podcast. That's all.
That's right.
Yeah.
So yes. So that is why our episode post is coming out a week late, and that's also why it's coming out basically on our exact anniversary, which was February 26th, which was yesterday.
Yeah.
So
it worked out.
It did.
So everything works out, and they get us back to back. So dog
3 whole years we have podcasted now, Kim.
Can we believe it? It's like already 3 years. Like I where does the time go?
Well,
like
we
I
had
don't
this
know where
thing
the
called a
time
global pandemic.
Yeah.
So we
would have started it right at
podcasting
the pandemic or a year before.
like 2 weeks before everything went into shutdown.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, because it was around February, end of February, beginning of March.
It was February 26, 2020. Was our first episode. And at least in Canada, I don't know about the rest of the world, but in Canada, the world locked down, or the Canadian world locked down on March 13th. It was March 13th, 2020, that I was at the office and they sent us all home and said, go work from home for 2 weeks because we're going to solve this pandemic in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And
2 weeks turned into 2 years more like it, and still going.
Yeah. So anyway, we're not here to talk about the pandemic, but yes, we have somehow managed to continue to entertain some of you for the last 3 years, despite the fact that how many sets have been released in that time, Kim?
4?
3?
Wait, didn't we get one like earlier in the year? No? Like
No.
before the pandemic? No?
Mm-mm.
Okay, just a 3.
I don't think so. I think I thought we didn't get any. Now I'm questioning myself. But I will double check. But I am fairly certain we just had 3 sets released since we've been
Wasn't
podcasting.
Avengers somewhere in there?
Oh, that was earlier. So let me just see. Dice
okay.
Masters.
Justice? No.
The WWE set was, I think, one of the last ones to drop. So let's see here. The WWE Dice Masters set does not have a release date on the web page. Oh no, copyright 2019. Yeah, there was nothing. Yeah.
Interesting.
So there were 3
So
sets.
we managed
Kim,
to do a podcast for 3 years on 3 products. Not even.
No, because the first most of that
What
first
came
year,
out last year. Yeah.
half of that first year, we didn't have any new releases. Then we had Infinity Gauntlet release in August, September of 2020. And then all of 2021, no sets. Set free in 2021. And then in 2022, we had 2 sets, which were... That's your
Dark
cue.
Phoenix and Superman Kryptonite Crisis.
That's great. So we thought for today, for this episode, what are we going to do, Kim?
Talk.
About?
Cards.
3 sets for 3 years.
Yep, but before we get to that, though,
Okay.
we should talk about a little game we're going to play for our anniversary.
Ooh, I like games. Do I get to participate right now?
No.
Okay. That's all right.
So, as you may have heard at the beginning of this episode, there was 5 distinct voices saying happy anniversary. We have a prize to give out for this. I haven't decided what yet, but you can.
It'll be awesome.
Yeah,
If it's coming from the Queen of Dice Masters, it's going to be amazing.
Exactly. So yes, there will be a prize. We'll leave it unknown secretly for now. But the game is, and this is open to everybody who listens to our podcast, or anybody actually who hears this, is to try and guess who those 5 voices are in the correct order.
Ooh, so do we give them any clues?
No.
How are they going to know?
Well, these 5 voices have been heard before.
On our podcast?
On our podcast, on Weekly Dice Arena, YouTube videos,
games.
They're around. They're all Dice Master folks.
Saturday night board game night.
Yeah, they're all Dice Master folks. So, but yes, you have to guess who the voices are. You can give me their actual names. You can give me their code names, aka their Discord names.
Their code names. We have code names now.
As long as they're in the correct order, and the first person, and I'm gonna say this, the first person to email us with all correct 5 is the winner. I'm asking for email only because I don't want to hear from all different places, and then we have to do timestamps and all this fun stuff. You know what I mean? So we're gonna stick with email.
Our email is tripledpodcast@dm-north.com.
Okay, so guess the 5 in the correct order, email it to us, and then in our next episode, we will reveal our winner.
Okay, now I'm just going to go out on a limb here, Kim.
Okay.
Let's just say that no one gets it right.
Okay, then I'll go to who got 4
closest?
Right. Yeah, closest
right.
to. And we'll keep doing that until.
Even if they get all of the right names in the wrong order or whatever, like there will be a winner regardless.
Yes.
Okay.
But the first obviously is if they get all 5 right in the correct order.
The correct order. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Right.
So that is our game for our anniversary. So again, you heard it at the beginning of the episode. There was 5 distinct voices saying happy anniversary. Give us in the right order of whom they are. Emailing us. Any other submissions anywhere else will not count.
Ineligible.
Yeah. And we'll announce the winner.
Will we play them again at the end of the episode, Kim?
Yes, I'll play it again.
Excellent. So you'll have 2 chances. Plus, with these magical things that play podcasts, you can rewind and fast forward. So you can listen to it as many times as necessary.
And get it stuck in your head and dream about anniversaries.
Happy anniversary.
Cool?
Cool.
All right. Now we can get into our top 3.
All right. So, Kim, Our topic today is our top 3 for 3 years.
Okay.
So, how this works is, as we mentioned at the top of this episode, there were 3 sets released since we've been podcasting: Infinity Gauntlet, The Dark Phoenix Saga, and Superman Kryptonite Crisis. So, each of us has preemptively and without collaboration built a list. So for each set, we have picked a basic action card, as well as 2 other cards in the set that we feel are our top 3 for those sets. And then we're going to talk about them and why we like them, and how we've played with them, etc. And then after that, we're going to put a poll out on the interwebs and ask you to vote as well, so that we can come up with the top 3 cards in each set. Right? Good stuff.
Based on our
suggestions.
Cards. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm. So maybe we'll go with I don't know how we're going to do it. because there's only like 2 choices for them. If we do this, it's like my choice or your choice. So
well, there's
maybe
4
we'll just,
four choices altogether.
I guess. So we could maybe do like top basic action from the last 3 years based on these 6 choices, and then top 2 cards maybe based on votes or whatever. We'll figure something out.
Yeah.
We're gonna send it a poll. You can answer it. It'll be amazing. So,
survey. Yes.
Which was the hardest set for you to complete for, Kim?
Infinity Gauntlet.
How come?
I don't know why. No, I don't know. It was actually harder. I don't know if it was just I've played a bunch of it and nothing really stood out. Or like, you know what I mean? Like a bunch of the cards and nothing really stood out. Or I completely forgot about the cards because I hardly use them now these days. Like maybe 1 to 2 may hit a team if I make a team. You know what I mean? If it's modern, like I don't go towards that set kind of anymore. But
it is the oldest set, right?
Yeah, but we're reviewing some stuff did pop back out. So
yeah, good. So do we want to start with the oldest set and work towards the newest set because the newest set is your favorite?
Yes.
Okay.
We can start old to new.
All right. So, which basic action card did you pick?
I picked Nefarious Broadcast, which reads, cancel any persistent global ability effects. Neither player may use global abilities until end of turn.
Okay. And what have you used that a lot, Kim?
I have, and mostly in tournament play. I don't really go too much control pieces when I play in tournaments. Or, anything towards that, because I like to have fun and just build fun teams.
Unless you're playing with Dice Arena and you put in Madeline Pryor to make Nick mad.
Hey, you know what? He still won that game by not rushing.
Okay, we'll come back to that.
Go watch the video on that one, folks.
Weekly Dice Arena from February 21st.
Yes, it was the What If on Jocelyn's sideboard. So that was the theme. Okay, so usually I don't go control pieces, and usually I always have trouble picking basic actions because I never build my team really on the basic actions. It hardly, right? But I know like global abilities, it's such a big thing like these days. Like a lot of people have them on their teams. They use them quite often. So I figure, you know what? If something's really hindering me and it's a global ability, I could pull this one out because it's a 2 cost. It's not that much.
This is true.
And if I time it right, I can stop them from doing something, or if only if their global is really like hurting my team or hurting what's going on.
It's a very strong card.
And for 2 costs, it's great.
Yeah, definitely competitive. Maybe not, like you said, super casual because it's a little bit control-y. But, for a 2 cost and for you, as long as you're not doing persistent globals that persist past the effect, like you use all your globals, then you play the action.
Right. Yes.
And then your opponent doesn't get the opportunity to use any globals on your turn because you have now used the action. And then they can't do it on their turn either. So it's really strong.
So yeah, that's why I picked that one. I think I've used that one most and all the others in that set.
Okay. So my pick for basic action was the True Believer basic action card, which was from Infinity Gauntlet, obviously. And it reads, target character die gets +2A and +1D until the end of turn. However, that is not why I picked it, Kim. I picked it because of the global ability.
Just for the global.
So it ties in with your Nefarious Broadcast. It's not a bad basic action. It's a 2 cost. It's pretty good. For a 2, you get to cycle this +2A, +1D. The global says pay 2 masks. Once during your turn, you may remove one of your characters from the field zone until end of turn. But you're targeting a character, so it would be 1 character die. So it's slightly expensive, 2 masks, but it's very effective. So if you're concerned about something being targeted, for example, you can on your turn, like if your opponent the big one that came up during Worlds in 2022 was Force Attack Globals, because they're everywhere. There's like 1,800 of them. So that's a slight exaggeration, but not by much. So if I don't want my active die to be removed from the field by you, if I need to keep it active, it's like a while active effect, I can just remove my die from the field zone during my turn, and then it comes back, and then you can't interact with it on my turn. So so I used that against my opponents. I had it on my Worlds team, and it was handy. It was a handy card to have. It's a handy global, and I quite liked having it, because there are not a lot of things that can keep your stuff active in the current meta, which we talked about at the time, because there is no like static field global. There's nothing that says, pay a mask, target attacking character die is no longer attacking, which is a good defense against a force attack global, but we don't have one in modern, so this is the closest thing we have aside from infiltrate.
Yep.
So this is my favorite Infinity Gauntlet basic action. I will throw out there that everyone's probably expecting us to say Villainous Pact, since it was the basic action of the 2022 competitive scene, but it's not my favorite action.
No.
So I like True Believer better.
It's just a prep ring. It's like, I mean, yeah, I guess I would have put that on most of my teams, just because that's the only thing I could put on to prep. But yeah,
Villainous
it's not
Pact?
Yeah, it's not my favorite.
The problem with Villainous Pact in the current meta is that it's really easy to work with Master Mold.
Yeah.
It's what makes Master Mold super strong. So, all right. So let's talk about your cards, Kim.
Okay. Are we going number 2 first, then 1?
Well, whatever you like. Or did you actually rank them, number 1 and number 2? Or?
I don't know. You put number 1 and number 2, so I figured number 1 was like you're better than number 2. So,
I mean, technically yes, but I didn't know if you did it that way. So let's do your number 2.
All right. The Spot, phase shift, 2 cost, and he has an energize.
Mm-hmm.
It's just energize. Target character die can't block this turn.
Nice. I like that one.
Yeah, I found myself playing with this one as well. I think if you can land it on energize, because I'm so good at landing dice on energize, you can probably get rid of a heavy blocker or something that can hurt you if you're trying to attack.
And this is a better, for me, I would say it's a better casual card.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not a global that's on demand that prevents something from blocking, or when fielded prevents something from blocking. You have to actually roll it on a double energy phase. So you have to spend 2 energy on it and then hope you don't roll it on a character phase. And then you have to land it on one of the 2 double energy phases for the effect to trigger. So yeah, it's a little bit more of a casual control piece, I guess.
Yeah, and then it's also, you got to time it properly too. If you're ready to do something big, and you need to not have something block, you hope it comes out on time. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed playing actually the spot card.
Yeah. So my 2 cards are probably not going to be surprises to anyone who's been listening to this podcast for any length of time. In my number 2 spot, I have Angela as Guardian of the Galaxy, which is the rare from Infinity Gauntlet, and she's a 4-cost bolt. She's Guardians affiliated. She looks amazing in the art, and she says, while Angela is active, your character dice gain Infiltrate. And I love Infiltrate. I think it's a super fun mechanic. It is not necessarily competitive level. It's good, right? It absolutely can be good, and it would actually pair well with your spot, Kim.
Yeah.
Because you can only infiltrate if your opponent can't block your die.
That's correct.
So if your opponent can't block it, then that's where you go with it. So, and that's also part of where my True Believer global came in, was like, if I did choose to attack with Angela, my opponent blocked her, I could then remove her from the field. So that, because by the time you hit the global window, you'll already have infiltrated everything else, but you'll prevent her from being KO'd. So, anyway, it's a thing you can do. So I like Infiltrate. When your dice attack, if they're unblocked, you may pull them back into the field and deal your opponent 1 damage for each. And it's a super fun mechanic that I don't think gets enough play.
Yeah, it's true. You don't see it as often.
Okay. Who's your number one, Kim?
My number one is Nebula Space Pirate. 5 cost mask Guardians affiliated. It has just an awaken keyword. Awaken is if this die spins up, use your awaken effect. And our awaken effect is deal 1 damage to target character die and 2 damage to target player. I like this card. I like this card because it does, 2 things. You can get rid of a psychic or something easy with a 1 defense. And you're doing 2 damage to a target player, which obviously is going to be your opponent. And all you have to do is really pair this up with, because there's lots out there.
Yeah.
A spin down and spin up, global or card or like focus or something like that to do it. And I wish it was still modern, but it's not anymore. I used to pair this card up with the Atom from Justice, who also had an awaken, and he deals 2 damage to target opponent. So if you can do both of those, you're at least doing some kind of damage to your opponent.
Yeah, no, that's definitely. I tried to do that as well at one point when both of those cards were modern. It was like spinning down one to spin the other one up and just kind of creating that cycle.
Yeah.
But one was a 4 cost, which was the Atom, and the Nebula is a 5 cost, and ramp wasn't, super great then, but now we have Dark Phoenix, so
yeah, it's easy to get to, and the best thing with this is you can do it on your opponent's turn as well.
Yeah. There's nothing better than killing your opponent on your opponent's turn.
Yeah. Oh, and you're done. Yeah. So yeah, this was I really like this card.
Awesome. Do you want to guess my top card, Kim?
Oh, I think he can fly with webs.
Fly with webs.
I think he dresses in red.
Of New York. It is Spider-Man Public Menace, the rare from Infinity Gauntlet, which I have been talking about since preview draft 2019, since before it came out, since I discovered it in the preview draft in 2019 at Worlds. This is still, I think this, Kim, is going to be my favorite card of all time. Like, I don't think anything is going to dethrone this card for me.
Really? Not anything from like the Golden Age?
No, I don't think so. Super rare Angela is really good, but I like the rare Angela better from Infinity Gauntlet. So I don't know, maybe something in future will dethrone this, but there's just something about this that makes me super happy. And it says, when Spider-Man attacks, spin target character die to an energy face of your choice. So there are very few things that can stop a when attacks effect. One of the only things that can stop it right now would be the super rare Wonder Woman. Has an ability that stops when fielded and when attacks effects. And of course there's the Typhoid Mary that can ignore the text. But that's basically it, I think, in modern that can stop it. So you attack with it, and again, this also ties in with my True Believer. I attack with it, and then if it's not blocked, then I can either infiltrate it back if Angela's active, or if she's not active, I can use the True Believer Global to remove it from the field after it's attacked, and then it comes back to the field at the end of my turn. So all of my 3 Infinity Gauntlet cards work very well together. So that is Infinity Gauntlet for me. I've talked about this card for literally 4 years now. Almost 4 years. 3 years. More than 3 years. So everyone's probably familiar with it if you've listened to this podcast ever. And we should move on, Kim, to the Dark Phoenix Saga.
And just to mention, I've never played with that card yet.
Do you have it?
I do.
Nice.
I've just never, ever.
Well, you should play with it before they rotate it, Kim. It's going to get rotated.
True. What's another? A lot, because this is like a control piece, so I don't play much of the control pieces, right? So
this is the thing. I have been trying to figure out how to turn this into a win condition since it came out. I feel like there's something there, but we're missing a piece. Dark Phoenix helps because it helps me get more of them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess maybe the way it's a win condition is you get as many of them as you can, and then you use Villainous Pact.
I was going to suggest that. You buy all of them, and then you just hope that your opponent's field is not too big, or you have something in your team that can take care of that. So when they all attack, let's say you have 4 attacking at the same time, and you just put down like 4 of them, like if there's 4 characters left, how much is his highest?
5.
What is high? Yeah, so that's 5, 10, 15, 20.
Yeah. I just don't think it's fast enough.
No, it won't be
It's
fast.
It's not
no.
fast enough to be competitive.
No.
Could it be good in casual? Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But I have not been able to win with it as far as like that being the win condition. It has supported my win conditions, but I haven't been able to win with it.
Challenge out there.
Okay. I'm gonna try and put it together with Dark Phoenix and things and see if there's a way I can do maybe investigative journalism or something like that. So that's my next build challenge, Kim.
All right.
Okay, Dark Phoenix.
Basic action.
Yes.
I was torn between 2. Radicalization.
Yes.
Which is a 3 cost. Deal 3 damage to target X-Men or Brotherhood character die. If you landed on Double Burst, it's also KO target psychic character die. And to help you KO any X-Men or Brotherhood, if they have it or don't have it on their team, there's a global on this card, which if you pay a shield, target character die gains X-Men or Brotherhood until end of turn.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think if you're trying to get rid of something again that's hindering you, for 3 costs, not so bad, and hopefully you can KO it. I mean, a lot of the their defense might be high, but at least you can do, some stuff to it. So.
Yeah, in Dark Phoenix, not a lot of the cards have low defense.
Mm-hmm.
They also have low attacks, and I think that's because in Dark Phoenix they had the whole loyalty counter mechanic.
Right.
So if you were able to get loyalty counters, it increased the attack and defense. So it, I sort of just put that together right now as I was talking, because when you look at Superman, the stats are much higher, and it's harder to manage like things like Overcrush with all of that defense going around.
Mm-hmm.
So, in Superman.
My second that was on the border is, I don't know why I like saying this name, Tight Ranks.
What about what's about the Tight Ranks, Kim?
What is it about the Tight Ranks? If you had at least 3 active character dice that share a team affiliation, KO target character die. So it's a bit of a little control-y if you're definitely building an affiliated team. That you can, as long as you have 3 of them active, you can KO anything and get rid of something that could be, again, hindering you or causing you to, go astray. I don't know. There's a global on here as well, which I've never used, but there is a global. Pay a shield, target character die with at least 1 loyalty counter gets -2A and -2D.
Yeah, that's pretty cool because of the loyalty counter effect.
Yeah.
I've never played with that basic action.
Yeah, I played with it a couple of times and I liked it. I think I either played it on a couple of they were affiliated teams, or I just happened to build a team that had affiliated characters on there that would have been part of my win condition. And I think I used it then, and I thought it was great because you can KO pretty much anything. It's not specific. It's just KO a target character die, so you can get rid of something on your opponent's side.
Yeah, it's good.
Mm-hmm. So those are my 2 torn, so I couldn't pick.
Radicalization is a really good one, especially in set, because there's a lot of cool things you can do with X-Men and Brotherhood.
Yeah.
And then if you can make other things X-Men and Brotherhood, you can bring things in from out of the set. I did consider that one. I also considered Living the Dream, which I will share with you what it is. It's about loyalty counters. So it's a continuous action die. If among all your character cards on your team you have at least 3 loyalty counters, your character dice get +1 attack and Overcrush. So you field it, you drop it in the field, and you can stack them. And it's pretty cool. It's a neat mechanic. But what I ended up going with was Mutation, which is a reprint. It has existed before. However, it's a 3-cost, and it says swap target character die in the field zone with target non-sidekick character die in that player's use pile. Spin that character die to level 1. This does not trigger when fielded effects because you are swapping, not fielding. It also has a global pay a mask. Spin one of your character dice down 1 level to spin another target character die up a level, so that ties in, Kim, with your spinny thing that we were just talking about with your awaken.
Right, yep.
Yeah. I like this because I like being able to swap my own things, but I also like being able to swap my opponent's things. So when I've bought a mutation, my opponent has to be really careful about what they're keeping in their use pile versus what they're keeping in their field, because I can swap things in and out. And if I'm not worried about a when fielded effect, then I can just swap my die in once I've purchased it with a mutation, as like swap out a sidekick and put in a character die of some sort, and all of a sudden, hey look, it's a Spider-Man attacking and removing your stuff. So I think it's fun. It creates a different level of strategy in the game, and I really enjoy that. So
I never realized that you can actually do this on your opponent. For like the longest time, I didn't know this until like recently. I'm like, oh yeah, it doesn't really say.
Yeah, it says target. So you can target yourself or you can target your opponent's dice. So it's pretty good. It's pretty good, Kim. All right, what's your next card?
So number 2 is Colossus Pure, which is a reprint from AVX days, except it's a 6 cost instead of a 7. Yep. While Colossus is active, at the end of your turn, each of your level 2s and 3s, or, well, it says or, but it's and, each of your level 2s and or 3s character dice deals your opponent 2 damage. Not 2 damage per Colossus die, but 2 for every level 2 and 3.
Yep. It's a lot. It can be devastating.
Yes. Again, easy to get to with Dark Phoenix. If you're playing Modern.
Easy to remove with hashtag Rare Spider-Man Forever.
Yeah, it can get removed, but if you can build up your field with a lot of cheap characters for 2, like 2 1 cost whatever, and get them out there on level 2s and 3s, at the end of your turn, you could be doing some big damage.
This is true.
It's gonna be a little faster and kind of hope they don't get to their or buy 2. That's all.
Yep, absolutely.
But yeah, I played it a few times. It's worked. Again, I kind of messed up on this one too because I thought it was just level 2s or not like both.
Right.
So I was playing it wrong for a little bit, but then I was like, "What? That made it even worse, making it both."
Yeah,
and there's so much
powerful.
spin-ups too, so out there that can help you get those things to 2 and 3. So
definitely.
Yep.
I went with Jubilee X-Men Field Leader. This is the super rare, and Jubilee is. I've talked about her on that podcast before. She is a little bit stronger than you might think she is. 4-cost Bolt, X-Men affiliation. Surprise. While Jubilee is active, when you field a character die, she deals 1 damage to your opponent and 1 damage to target character die. And that little ping damage, 1 and 1, can really add up. So if you've got sidekicks in your field, when I field my character, I do 1 damage to your sidekick and then 1 damage to your life. And if I can clear out your people by cycling enough things with fielding, then I can just attack through for the rest of the balance of the damage. So it's pretty strong, especially if you have low defense characters. It's a little bit harder against high defense characters, but eventually, it'll only take 20 dice being fielded, in theory, to get rid of your life and win the game. And this is any dice that you field, any character. It's not specified in any particular way, so I can do it with sidekick fielding globals. So I can use the Batman global to field 2 sidekicks by paying 2 masks, and that does 2 damage to you. And 2 damage to 2 of your dice. I can do it with the Collector Global, which is pay a mask and field a sidekick. I can do it with the Sinister Global, which is pay 2 generic. And as you can see, there's lots of globals. Pay 2 generic, field a sidekick, prep a sidekick from your use pile. And then there's also like low cost characters, like the one cost Harley Quinn. She's a max 3, but you can get a lot of her and spit her in there and just sort of feed the machine. So again, doesn't feel particularly strong until you play it and you're like, wow, this is like super good. There is one card that will completely shut it down, which is the Mystique, the uncommon Mystique from Dark Phoenix Saga, as a direct counter. Mystique Freedom Force. When Mystique is active, reduce damage from opposing character abilities by 1. So 1 minus 1, Kim, is 0. Yep. So there is a direct counter. Mystique can also be removed by some of the other ways that you can do things, but not with the 1 damage, even though her defense is only 1 because she reduces by 1. So she's a little bit strong against X-Men Field Leader Jubilee.
Yeah, but
I like
there's
her.
a force attacks, right? So
yeah, you force attack her, you take the damage, or you spin her out with a rare Spider-Man, or you also put the card that I didn't put from my Infinity Gauntlet list in here, which is Thor Jorgemund's Fear, which I almost put on. He does 2 damage when you field a die. So in that case, you field a die and it does 2 damage and you reduce by 1, and then you just KO Mystique and then you move on with your life.
There you go.
You might remember that, Kim, from our Worlds Prep when I was considering playing Thor. Well, I did play Thor. So anyway, and then our number 1 card, Kim.
Which we both picked exactly the same card.
Tell us about it, Kim.
Master Mold.
Endless Sentinels.
There you go. Since we both picked the card.
You read it. I talked most recently.
Okay. So this is a super rare. It's a 6-cost shield, villain affiliation. When fielded, when Master Mold attacks, when Master Mold is KO'd, place a Sentinel token with 5A and 5D into the field zone.
Yep.
I don't know why people hate this card, but I love this card.
You know why people hate it. It makes too many Sentinels.
You don't need that much to win.
Well, if you're playing against it, it becomes a mirror match, like was U.S. Nationals and Worlds last year. And that's where Villainous Pact came into really important play, because Sentinels have no affiliation, which means they are not villains, which means they cannot block. So it's a thing. Mm-hmm. It's fun. It's super powerful. I think that it's probably too powerful, and it probably should be banned if it's going to remain in Modern.
Yeah, but then again,
banned or eroded.
Yeah, but we haven't really seen, like, honestly, how much Master Mold showed up last year in Worlds. I can't remember.
More than half of the teams.
Yeah, and what actually won Worlds?
Master Mold.
Mm.
And what won U.S. Nationals? Master Mold. And how many of those teams were Master Mold? Over half.
Yeah.
It's dominating the meta because there isn't a good counter to it. My Thor team can, if it rolls perfectly, and I go first, it can outrun a Master Mold, but not consistently enough to win.
Didn't you beat me with Master Mold on your Thor? I think so.
I beat your Master Mold with my Thor. Yeah. I have had a couple of really amazing Thor games where I have won, like on turn 3 or turn 4. I've been able to get Thor in the field and then field like 5 sidekicks, and then you're dead. It's difficult and it doesn't always happen. It's not consistent, but I have done it twice. But it's not as consistent as Master Mold, and it doesn't recover as well as Master Mold does if you miss your roll.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm pretty skilled at playing it, and it's still a good team. Like, if Master Mold wasn't in the meta, your top cards would be Thor, Jubilee, Barry Allen.
Yeah.
Probably Colossus. There's a couple of other things. Harley. Things like that. There's a few cards that would be up there. But all of those have better counters, and they're not as difficult to work around as Master Mold is. The sheer volumes of tokens that Master Mold can create. And I think part of the problem, if you can call it a problem, is Dark Phoenix Global. Because you can KO Master Mold on demand.
Yep.
Right? So.
Yep. I was very torn to actually pick Barry. Shocking, right? I know.
Mm-hmm. Barry belongs in Superman, though.
That's right. We're not there yet.
We're not there yet. So maybe you did pick Barry. Who knows?
Oh no, let's see. Spoiler!
All right. So for Superman, my favorite basic action is investigative journalism. And what is investigative journalism? If you haven't been listening to this podcast, it is the best basic action card ever. Copyright Jocelyn. Kim will disagree. It is a 5-cost basic action, and it says draw 4 dice, roll up to 3 of them, prep the remainder. So it gives you a really good way to churn your bag. And if you can get this rolling and spinning, you can be drawing and prepping and rolling your whole bag like every second turn. Like, it's really, really great when it fires off, and it's very easy to get going once it does, as long as it's rolling an action phase, and you have a 50% chance of it rolling an action phase. So you get to draw 4 dice. You can roll as many as 3, or you can roll as few as 0, and then you prep whatever you don't roll. It's pretty amazing.
For a 5-cost.
It's pretty amazing. Full stop.
For a 3-cost.
And you can get it with the Dark Phoenix Global to reduce it by 2, or the Thor Global to reduce it by 2. But it's definitely, I find it to be, it's a good early game purchase, but it doesn't lose its strength late game, right? As long as it's rolling, because you're getting to churn and you get to choose what you're doing with those dice.
Right.
So it's very flexible, and I like my pieces to be flexible. I like my dice and cards to be flexible and multi-purpose, and investigative journalism hits that spot.
Cool. I still have not played with that one.
Kim, you need to play with more of these cards.
Yeah, I do. Because Daily Planet's almost like it, except you are drawing more dice with the investigation.
Daily Planet's a 4-cost.
Yeah.
And you only get to draw 2 dice.
So it's half of it.
So it's not as good value. Right? So Daily Planet says draw 2 dice, prep up to 2, roll the remainder. For 1 extra energy, you're getting so much more flexibility and so much more churn. That's
and you actually get to prep and roll. So
yeah, you get choices anyway.
Yeah, choices.
Well, you get to do that with Daily Planet too. You can prep 0, or you can prep 2, like 1, 2, or 3, 1, 2, or none. But it's not for a 4-cost. I don't think it does enough.
Yeah.
Whereas the 5-cost is like, this is awesome. What'd you pick?
I was torn between 2 again.
We said, Kim, this is our top 3.
I know. Call to action. 3-cost, target non-psychic character die gets +3A. And I've used this one a few times to give dice pretty much like a buff, right? And I've caught some of my opponents off guard because they always thought it was a psychic. I'm like, no, it says target non-psychic. And I like pairing this card up with a card that is my number 1. So
we'll come back to that.
Yes, we'll come back to that. And also the other one I liked was Arctic Breath. Also a 3-cost. I like 3-costs, supposedly. Deal 1 damage to target character die. And put a stun token on a different target character dies card.
Nice.
And also has a global pay a fist, target character die gets +1A. I like stun. I think it's fun. I gotta play more with stun. And that's why I like this card. Fun. Yeah, stun is fun. So stun is if you stun a character card, they can't attack, right? They can't attack.
They can't attack or block with it
unless they pay 2 generic energy.
Yeah. So anytime you can use a global, you can pay 2 generic energy to remove the stun token. But that is definitely affecting your energy economy.
Yes, especially if you need it for globals, and if you get something of that is their win condition,
dice or field dice or lots of things. Yep.
So I like stun. I gotta do some stun more stuff. But yes,
stun the stuff. I don't know what song I'm trying to sing.
So those are my basic actions.
Okay. So my first card that I'm going to talk about from the Superman set is a max 1 die. Because it is Bizarro. He is the Kryptonite Enhanced Intelligence. He's a 5-cost shield, but you know why that does not matter, Kim?
Because you don't pay for it.
That's right. You should never pay for Bizarro because it just says once per turn you may add a Bizarro die from this card to your bag. If you do, your opponent takes one of their unpurchased dice and puts it into their use pile, and it has Overcrush. So this is super cool. I love the whole concept that you don't actually buy it. Even in Constructed, if you've got a spot on your team, just throw it on there with 1 die, and that could be the 1 die that is the difference between you winning or losing the game. Because it goes into your bag. Your opponent has to put theirs in their use pile. Your opponent has to cycle theirs through with their dice. So being strategic about when you do this can mean that you're going to get your Bizarro a lot faster than they're going to get whatever they got. It's fun. It's a fun thing to do. Just put a die in your bag and give your opponent anything they want. You want a Master Mold? Okay, here's a Master Mold. I'm Oprah today. You get a Master Mold. You get a Shazam. Whatever, right? Get whatever you want. So go shopping for free. It's awesome. So I love this, and I even love it more in Draft. And we don't have to talk about that again because we've talked about it lots. But in Draft, there's no dice limits. So you can put multiple dice on your Bizarro, and that is just broken and super fun, and that is Bizarro.
I think Bizarro is more of like a finisher.
Unless you're in Draft.
Unless you're in Draft. You put in your bag, and you're pretty much finishing you off with Overcrush, right? So.
Yeah, his stats are super good, though, so he doesn't have to just be a finisher. He can also be a starter, because he's a 1/5/5 2/7 6 2/8/7.
Yeah, you guarantee him on your second turn, and that can be some damage going through. Sure.
You got it.
Cool. I might be using that card for something. He might be on a team of mine. So my second slot card here is Harley Quinn. Yes, this was my like all-time favorite actually of this set.
Really?
But I didn't put it as my number 1 though. But Harley Quinn, Vengeance Unlimited, and it reads, it's the uncommon 2-cost mask. When KO'd, you may roll a character die from your use pile. For each energy showing on that die. Deal 1 damage to target character die. If that die shows a character face, re-roll target opposing character die. If you can set this up, I find this card fun.
It's fun. It's chaotic. It's stuff. It's things.
You can re-roll a character out. You can deal 1s and get rid of some psychics, or even 2 psychics, because if you roll a double energy, it's 1 per.
You know, for someone who says that she doesn't like control cards.
But it's not direct control cards. It's a fun way to try to control. I have to roll it on a character face to make it actually re-roll it.
But you can just KO her with a bolt.
That's true. Yes, it's very easy to KO her. But I still have to roll a die. I have to have a character die in my used to roll. So you have to kind of like buy something, put it there, and if you're going to use her that turn, KO her. You know what I mean? And then you get a die to roll if you don't have one. So you do have to kind of set it up that it's there for you to do it. But I don't know. I love it. I think it's so much fun. And it's Harley Quinn. Obviously, she's chaotic. So this is like perfectly her.
I know someone else who really likes this card.
Who's that?
Rob.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's on like all my teams.
You know who doesn't like this card?
You.
Yeah.
You like the super rare Harley.
Well, I do, because that is my next card.
There, look, I get a perfect thing for you.
Harley Quinn, the Gang of Harleys.
The Gang of Harleys.
Awesome title, FYI. So 5-cost mask. While Harley Quinn is active, your sidekick dice gain +1 attack, +1 defense, and when fielded, deal 2 damage to target character die. So I love giving my sidekicks extra abilities, and that's what she does. So here's a good way to get rid of your Mystique. My sidekicks I field my sidekicks when Harley's active. They get +2. They get 2 damage to target character die. So Mystique reduces by 1. They still do 1. Mystique is dead. Then I do more damage. Yay! Much rejoicing. It's fun. It's a really cool card. I like it. I like it a lot. So your little paper. What's the word thing I'm gonna do? Paper cutting. That's what I'm looking for.
I'm just not going to say anything.
It is too late. Little paper cuts damage to your dice to KO them, and then leaves your field empty. And then my sidekicks have +1 attack and +1 defense. They're 2A, 2D. So even if your sidekicks are still alive, I'm going to kill your sidekicks when I attack. My sidekicks are going to live. You can pair her with Batman, which does things to sidekicks as well. The Batman Global helps her field sidekicks because it's pay 2 masks. Each character may field up to 2 psychic dice from their use pile. It makes a very nice little chain reaction going there. So that is my number 1 card from Superman Kryptonite Crisis.
Cool. I still haven't played with her too.
What dice do you play with, Kim?
I don't know. Nothing. I don't play with anything.
You play way more Dice Masters than I do these days.
Yeah, if I have to play on Weekly Dice Arena, yes. If I'm not playing, then I can go weeks without playing, right? Well, we play locally, so.
Sometimes.
Not today, though. Actually, the day of this recording. Because we have winter storms happening, you know?
Yeah, it's ice raining right now.
Yeah. My favorite card is not Barry Allen. It is Mary!
Shazam!
World War III. 5-cost Bolt. Super rare card with the Mystics affiliation. While Mary Shazam is active, when you spend an energy, she gets +1A. While Mary Shazam's A is 10 or greater, she gains Overcrush. And if she is 12 or greater in her A, she can't be rerolled or spun to another phase by opposing effects called Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
That's why I
Mary
like
Shazam.
Call to Action, because she can get an extra +3.
Yeah, so she gets an extra +3, which on her high side makes her a 9. And then you can
spend energy to buff her or something.
Get her
Which
an
buff,
Overcrush.
and then the buff. Yeah.
Yeah, and then it also works on your opponent's turn. So, right? So if you get the opportunity to spend energy during your global window on your opponent's turn, you can get her up to a 12. So she can't be re-rolled or spun. So in a case like that, she is harder to remove than with Spider-Man, but she's easier to remove with a when fielded effect, because I can field something to spin her out before you have the opportunity to spend energy.
Yeah.
Right?
But yeah, she's pretty cheap for what she does.
She's pretty cool. She was ruled on in the rules forum, to clarify, because there was some question about her ability, and it is per die. So you have to target the die. So if you have multiple Mary Shazams active, which as a 5-cost is pretty easy to do, then you have to target which die has the buff. So
yeah, if you can get both of them, can you imagine to get both of them to 10?
She's a max 4.
That's crazy.
Get all 4 of them out there, Kim.
I don't know how you can do both to get 10, but yeah, you just need one, and if you can get it up there high enough. I find she's a little bit slow though, but she's a bit fun. She's fun.
Investigative journalism.
Just true.
Just saying.
You need to roll all the dice. Rush. Oh my gosh. Hopefully nobody has Prior on their team.
Are you playing Rush, Kim?
No. Which got ruled on. Yeah.
There is a Rush for bolts.
Is there really?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if I put Rush with her. But yeah.
Oh, I think you should build it. Because if you don't
come.
build it, then Nick will build it.
What? A Rush team?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just looking for... Yeah, Groot. Groot from Infinity Gauntlet. 4-cost shield, rushes for bolts. Drax, 4-cost shield, rushes for bolts.
That's expensive.
Gamora, 3-cost fist, rushes for bolts. It's a lot of bolt rush. Anyway, we should build it.
They will come.
Okay, so we're going to figure out how this poll's going to work, and we'll put it up on like Facebook and Discord, and you can vote on your favorite cards. Maybe we'll do a form. I don't know. We'll figure something out. But we're going to do a form of some sort so that you can vote on your favorite basic action and your favorite cards from these sets, and then we'll figure out how the winner is and come up with some sort of prize of some variety, because that's what we do. And that's going to be our top 3 for 3 years.
Cool.
What's next, Kim?
Upcoming events?
Sure.
All right.
Let's do it.
So coming up on starting in less than 2 weeks is 2-team Takedown Energize. So that starts on Monday, March the 6th. Energize, as in you're actually going to be building 4 mini teams of each energy. And then there's some bands. Master Mold. Mr. Sinister, the rare one. And Thor. Oh, no. What was the third band? Barry.
Did we ban Barry? We didn't ban...
I think
we definitely didn't
Barry.
ban Thor.
I can't remember the third one, but all details are on dmNorth.com. It'll be in the show notes as well. So if you haven't signed up and you would like to play, sign up, start building those teams. The upcoming weekly Dice Arena, we will be practicing for 2-team Takedown. So if you have some teams, or if you're playing or you're not playing, but you can come out and play anyways, we'll be practicing that in weekly Dice Arena.
It's Barry.
Yeah, it's Barry. Okay.
Master Mold, Barry, and Mr. Sinister Dark Experimentation.
Which is the one that feels psychics.
The global is just too powerful.
Yep.
Yep.
And then just following the 2-team Takedown, the Makers Tournament is happening on Saturday, March the 11th. I think you can still sign up to play. And
but the
all
cards
details
are finalized.
Yes, the cards that you have to create to customize and stuff are all finalized. So you can start making your teams with those, and you can probably still play. You can probably still sign up to play. So all details of that are on the Breath Weapon X site. Again, it'll be in the show notes, so you can go click on that. And then we have our weekly Dice Arena that happens every Tuesdays at 9 o'clock Eastern. We will have a Dice Social in March. No date set yet. And that's, I think, it.
Okay. So shall we talk about the dice bag from the last episode?
Yes. Citrix. Let's go. No, citrus.
We're not going to start there. We're going to end there because it's more fun.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to start with everyone's fave hero, Donnie, on
the YouTube.
And he says, congratulations on the win, Kim. I love playing Guy. He's so much fun. That's Guy Gardner.
Mm-hmm.
Also a great way to pivot. I also have side conversations with my cards and dice, and it normally works. So thanks, Donnie, for reaching out, and big congratulations to Kim again as our winner for Breath Weapon X Fest 5. So in our last episode, Kim, we talked about Kim's team from Breath Weapon X Fest 5, which was the Lantern team, Red Lantern team. And we heard from Cosmic X23, which is friend of the podcast, Matthew. And he said, great episode. Citrus Atrocious says hi. So eventually in the episode, I did figure out how to pronounce Atrocitus's name once I looked at it on the dice team builder. But we will say, thanks to Oh No, it is a tale of two Atrocituses. It was the best of limes. It was the worst of limes. And then that continues with our friend Jackalope Span with, it was the zest of lemon. It was the zest of finger limes. It was the bowl of kumquat. It was the bowl of tangerine. It was the season of lemon. It was the season of grapefruit. It was the spring of orange. It was the winter of yuzu.
What the heck is a yuzu?
Yuzu is a citrus fruit from...
Oh, really? I never heard of it.
It was everywhere like last year or the year before.
Really?
Yeah, I have like a yuzu like hot sauce that President's Choice did, and they did like a yuzu cheesecake. So yuzu fruit is a citrus fruit. from East Asia.
Oh.
So anyway, it is, let's see. What does it say here? It's sort of a hybrid of lime, lemon, and grapefruit. It's a very citrusy fruit.
Interesting.
So, I like it. I like the flavor.
I'll try it one day. Except he will always be Citrix in my heart.
Mr. Citrus?
Mr. Citrus.
Yeah. So hence the citrus. And I believe that last part of that came from ChatGPT from Nick. I think he ChatGPT'd that. So. So yeah, we heard from Collector Rob from Breath Open X, who said great episode today. And we also heard from him who said he said, I'm happy to refer to him as Mr. Citrus from now on. Just don't say it to his face. And then there was Jordo who said, where was our Red Lantern pop culture train wreck? Dexstar has a great backstory. However, we did have a side conversation to determine, is Dexstar identifying as female? And I think we decided that Dexstar, who is the little kitty cat, Red Lantern, identifies perhaps as male. But there was a conversation from Collector Rob that said we could just branch out into anthropomorphic animals for future episodes. So we might do an animal-themed character in Dice Masters.
There's got to be like an animal day somewhere in the year, right?
I mean,
love your animals.
I don't know. Day, pet day. I don't know.
I don't know.
So,
it's so 6. We just gotta find it.
And then Jordo also included a link to Dexstar's origin story, which we will link in the show notes in case you want to read it. In case we don't ever do the Dexstar episode. Who knows? We might not. Who knows? And then also Jordo also thanked us for the emphasis on read at the end of the episode when we talked about the 2-team takedown, and you need to read all of the rules. Read, continue to read, and sign-ups are happening now. So join 2-team takedown. So yes. So that is the citrusy flavor of our feedback from last episode. We want to thank everyone, all of our listeners and friends, and all of you who reach out to us through Discord, through email, through YouTube, through Facebook, through all of the places that we are. All of your participation in our surveys, hint, hint, and polls, hint, hint, and all of that stuff, because it helps us create content for you. And as we move into year 4, Kim, what are you looking forward to?
I don't know.
I put her on the spot.
New product. New product, I guess.
Secret Wars.
Yeah. I just want to see this art. I'm just dying to write with my hands. That's all.
Yeah.
Like the new design. Yeah.
I'm very excited about the new card design. I'm excited about the new set. I'm excited to have more Fantastic Four and Dice Masters. I'm excited for more play in person. So whether that is locally at our local store, which we've been a little bit erratic lately because of travel schedules, but whether it's local play or whether it's getting out to conventions, and hopefully there'll be a Canadian Nationals this year, and hopefully there'll be a Worlds again, and US Nationals, and other things that we can do, like spreading out the Dice Masters across the year. I know there's been some hints in the past that organized play is being relooked at for Dice Masters with the relaunch of Secret Wars. I'm excited for that. I'm excited to hopefully get more people in and playing Dice Masters.
Yeah. Hopefully the origin packs will definitely help with that.
Yeah, because this is a great game, and more people need to play it.
Mm-hmm.
And for the podcast, we've got some really fun stuff planned for future episodes this year. There will be more female characters in Dice Masters. We'll probably do an updated rules series when the new comprehensive rulebook gets launched, so that we can update our rules episodes to help new players. What else do we have, Kim? Fun surprises.
Who knows? Who knows what this year will bring?
Reporting from the road. More episodes reporting from the road, hopefully. Kim's first trip to Worlds.
We'll see.
No, you already committed to it. It's done.
When did I do this?
On a previous episode.
Okay.
I'll find you the clip.
All right.
And if it wasn't published, then I definitely have it in my private stash. And you are coming to Worlds, so. We're going to make it happen.
All right.
We're going to make it happen. So yeah, so thanks everyone. We appreciate everything that you do. And thank you so much for all of your support over the past 3 years, and looking forward to having more product and more things to talk about this year. So until next time, on a double and dice.
Happy anniversary!
Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary, eh?
Happy anniversary.